Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Happy Thursday sa lahat ng mga ka-brunchies and may pagkain.
Gosh, pansit and pichi-pichi.
Oo, pansit, ano naman ito? Bihon and pichi-pichi.
Yes,
Perfect combination para sa brunch.
Diba?
Mabigat at masarap. Anyway,
mamaya may mga guests tayo dito live.
Oo, we have several guests. Actually, we have 3 guests. At abangan nyo.
3 ba?
Oo, 3. Dalawa from
That's right.
yung show, yung isa, si Ma'am Carmi Martin. Will be here as well. Kaya abangan nyo yan mamaya. And aside from that, of course, we have our usual countdown na madami tayong pag-uusapan.
Ano number 1 natin ngayon?
Hulaan nyo, mga ka-brunchies. Sa comment section ng YouTube natin, saka Facebook, i-drop nyo kung ano yung mga bet nyo sa number 1, 2, and 3. Okay? We're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch. Now let's begin our countdown with the latest on the UAAP. The De La Salle Green Archers nabbed another win against UST Growling Tigers 94-87. Kevin Kiambao delivered a career-best performance in the game after leading Green Archers with 29 points. He also contributed 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal. Before this match, the FEU Tamaraw snatched another victory against NU Bulldogs 65-58. Joric Bautista came through the clutch as he extended the Tamaraw's lead against NU with just 9.7 seconds remaining. Mo Konate also contributed 22 points, 13 rebounds, and 2 blocks to FEU's win. Diba yung sa UST tsaka versus La Salle, medyo magandang laro daw yan.
Overtime daw, no?
Nag-overtime. Lamang daw ng 20, tapos nakahabol.
Hindi ko napanood, pero I read a lot yesterday na malaki na daw ang lamang ng una ng La Salle. And then, dumikit, bumulusok ang UST, pero they lost steam sa end. Kasi 20 points ang hinahabol mo. So usually, mapapagod ka talaga, mauubusan ka ng gas kasi nag-exert ka ng effort. Hindi biro ang mag-comeback sa 20 points.
Tsaka usually, di ba pagka nag-overtime, yung usual na, yung kung sino yung lamang nung prior to that, usually yun yung nananalo pa rin.
What do you mean prior to that?
Hindi, kunya, di ba, lamang UST, lamang La Salle, tapos nakahabol si UST, tapos nag-overtime sila. Usually, sa pag nakikita ko yung ganyan, yung nananalo pa rin yung unang naging lamang. Kasi,
in other words, sinasabi mo kasi napapagod yung naghahabol. It depends. It doesn't really hold true. But you know, kasi this time...
But most of the time.
Some
instances. Sige, sabihin na, para pumayag ka na.
Usually kasi it favors the team that was leading all throughout. Kasi ang tendency ng team na naghahabol, napapagod, na ubusan. Pagdating ng overtime, wala nang natira.
Yun.
Oo. We all know naman La Salle is a veteran team kasi they have Kiambao and the other players na medyong meron maturity na.
Yes. Alam mo na ba yung standing nila? Number 1 pa rin ang La Salle.
Number 1 ang La Salle ngayon. Oo. Okay. Of course. Of course. All right, coming in next is a very sad news. Directioners are mourning over the sudden death of singer Liam Payne at the young age of 31. Payne was found dead after falling from his third-floor hotel room balcony in Buenos Aires on Wednesday. Authorities said they were notified of a, quote, aggressive man who could be under the effects of drugs and alcohol. The musician had been open in the media about struggling with addiction and spending time in a rehabilitation facility. He rose to global fame as part of the disbanded One Direction alongside Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, Niall Horan, and Louis Tomlinson.
Daming nagulat. I mean, pag-open ko ng social media on the way here, puro yan yung nakita ko.
Yeah, hindi kasi we all know naman yung what he faced sa addiction niya, di ba? Pero at 31, napaka-shocking.
Totoo. And then there were reports also ng mga online bullying and we don't know kasi what really happened here. So
pero,
far, ito pa lang yung mga details.
Basta so far na pinagdudugtong ng authority sa Buenos Aires is there was noise from that area, may nagwawala, and then biglang nakita na lang siya nalaglag from his third-floor hotel room. So we don't know kung may nagtulak or we don't know kung dahil sa kalasingan nalaglag, but just the same, young life ending too soon is very sad.
Grabe, sikat na sikat sila nung anong year yun, di ba yung One Direction, nag-audition sila, X Factor.
Saka very rare ang nangyari sa One Direction. They're one of the few groups na tumagal. Minsan kasi after 2-3 years nawawala yung iba. Pero sila talagang mahaba-haba until such time na nagkaroon ng disband, di ba? Si Zayn Malik nagsarili, si Harry Styles nagsarili.
Alright,
Ay,
nako, I'm sure
malungkot,
malungkot yung mga One Directioners.
Mga millennial and mga Gen Z yan, di ba?
Alright, sige, let's continue with our countdown. Placing 9th is a new diocese. Pope Francis has announced the new Diocese of Prosperidad in Agusan del Sur. Cebu Auxiliary Bishop Ruben Labajo was assigned as the new diocese's bishop. Prior to this, Agusan del Sur was part of the Diocese of Butuan or Butuan with Agusan del Norte. Bishop Cosme Almedelia petitioned the split to strategically foster spiritual growth and improve administrative efficiency. Siya yung first appointee ni Pope Francis doon sa area. Kasi nga, yan yung unang-unang ginawa. Pinaghiwalay, kumbaga.
Because masyadong malaki ang sakop ng yung old diocese, masyadong masakop ang land area, na so nahihirapan doon sila to deliver the word of the Lord or to share the good news sa missions nila. So they decided it's better na paliitin natin ang sakop so that yung smaller nga yung area ng isang bishop, pero they can focus on the community at hand. For more effective the delivering of the word of God.
Yes, so that is the 87th diocese dito sa Philippines. So right now, yung area na yon, yung diocese na yun, meron silang 480,000+ na mga Catholics.
Sige, malaki-laki yun, no?
Malaki-laki din yun.
Sige.
Sige, let's move on.
Moving over to our top 8, lawmakers are pressing the Philippine Statistics Authority to change how it measures basic literacy. Congressman Roman Romulo, chairperson of the House Basic Education Panel, questioned the PSA's outdated definitions. The agency considers a person to have basic literacy if they can simply read, write, and compute. But according to Romulo, comprehension should always be included in the metrics. The PSA, for their part, explained that they consulted with education stakeholders before coming up with a definition. Yun, kasi yung sige lang, kuha ka lang. Kuha ka lang. Read, write, compute. But kasi ang problem dito is literacy also means that you have to understand kung ano yung binasa mo.
Yes, importante ang comprehension.
Kasi some people are taught to read phonetically. In other words, they're taught the sounds, like for example, apple. But if you ask some people, kunyari, hindi nila anong apple, that's not literacy anymore. He can read, but he doesn't understand what he's reading.
Can you imagine ito daw yung sa PSA, 1989 pa nila ginagamit itong method na to, na it's really high time na baguhin natin. Kasi nakikita nga natin, di ba, na hindi maayos yung mga data na lumalabas.
Kasi kung kunyari, mag-conduct sila ng let's say mga surveys nila, 'di ba, yung census nila. Sabihin niya 100,000 people are literate, they can read, 'di ba? So yung education department natin will adjust accordingly, or the Congress will pass bills based sa report na yun. Yung pala, ang definition is basta makabasa ka lang. Kahit hindi mo maintindihan, basta makabasa ka. So, ang goals ng DepEd tsaka ng mga nasa chamber natin, upper and lower house, are based sa yung current, di ba? So, hindi na na-address
the real problem.
The real problem na hindi nila naintindihan ng ibang bata ano yung binabasa nila.
Minsan nga may mga studies din na nakita din nila base dun sa mga survey na mismo yung ilang mga teachers din may problema din sa comprehension. So, 'di ba? Can you imagine, teacher ka, hindi mo rin maintindihan yung tinuturo mo. So, how are you going to pass that to a student?
Kaya nga nauso.
So, that's why yung training for teachers are very important. Continuous training.
Kasi the best effective way to teach somebody is not memorization, but rather teach the person how to understand what he is and comprehend what he's reading. Kasi kaya nauso ang tinatawag nilang verbatim teaching. Madaming teachers na nahihirapan na i-comprehend yung lesson plan. Sometimes binabasa na lang nila yung nasa lesson plan.
Anong tawag nila? Reading teachers.
Reading teachers. And yung mga students, pag kunyari may follow-up question, hindi na masagot na maayos ang teacher.
So, basta yung pinaka-importante dyan, of course, yun nga, yung comprehension. So, importanteng di block yan di ba? In learning to read. And of course, when you comprehend, di ba, you can take out what you read, tapos, di ba, makapag-form ka ng questions, mag-opinion, di ba, mag-criticize, etc. Kasi other than that, mahihirapan din talaga tayo pag hindi alam ng mga bata, di ba, yung mga binabasa nila. Marunong sila magbasa, pero hindi nila alam kung ano yung binabasa nila.
May bumubulong na.
Oo nga eh. Alright, coming up. Who are some of the senatorial aspirants who made the COMELEC's cut for next year's elections?
And what are Senator Bato de la Rosa's reasons for wanting to start a Senate inquiry into the drug war?
Yun. Marami tayong pag-uusapan. We are just getting started, mga kapatid. More of our top 10 news when brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning! You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Siyempre, dating gawin, babati muna tayo sa mga usual suspects natin. Dito muna sa YouTube, no, batiin ko si Ronald Maxtay, si Mark Santiago, si Oscar N, si Elmo Cardenia, si Gary Co, Tita Daisy, Tito Naldi, Tito Nito Cancho, nanonood din sa atin. And of course, si Isa and Adelia and the rest of the Reyes family, nanonood din yan sa atin.
Okay, dito naman sa Facebook, we have Ralph Domingo watching Brunch daw while Mom and Dad are driving. Ba? Siguraduhin mo si Mom and Dad are not watching.
Oo.
Be safe. Si Mer Abad, good morning. Beng Tan Guerrero, uy, good morning. Have a nice day. Ito si Sam Pokemon Go, good morning daw. Correct po. Social media comprehension ang uso ngayon. Meaning, face value. Tapos pag wala na mai-reply, name calling ang bagsak. Ito naman, ito mahaba ba to, si Giovanni Santosidad. If you're reading this right now, may God heal your wounded heart, remove your pain, stress, depression, anxiety, worries, and problems. May He replace them with good health, everlasting happiness, and peace. Nako, very good message, Giovanni. Maraming salamat for that.
May humabol dito si Viv F. Yan. Mamaya basahin
natin yung comment. Si Vlad.
Si Vlad, si VJ, si Ringo, si Tasha, nanonood din yan sa atin. Si Mina Benales, and of course, and si Mother Earth nanonood.
Morning. All right, let's move on.
Placing 7th is the PWD discount. The National Council for Disability Affairs, or NCDA, clarified that a 20% discount for PWDs is only applicable for solo orders. This is after the Justice Department said the discount should still be applied in group orders. However, restaurants should ensure that the PWD is the only one who will consume the food with discounted price. NCDA Executive Director Glenda Relova explained the discount is divided if a PWD ordered food for a group.
Kung lahat naman ng pagkain na in-order ay para sa isang grupo, kailangan pong hatiin ito ng amount na in-order commensurate lamang po doon sa order or sa exclusive consumption ng persons with disability. Halimbawa, 5 sila, so hahatiin po yun sa 5. So yung one portion lang po ang magkakaroon ng 20% discount and then exemption from VAT.
Well, actually, sa clarification...
parang sa senior din naman, ganun.
Actually, sa clarification naman ng DOJ malinaw, may mga instances kasi may mga restaurants, for example, mga Chinese restaurants, wala silang mga solo plates. So, minsan may isang PWD kakain, in-order niya yung good for 3 or 4, tapos yung rice good for 3 or 4, pero nag-iisa siya. Ang sabi ng DOJ, with that, kailangan bibigay mo yung full 20% for that kung siya ang nag-iisang kumakain doon. At pwede niya i-take out to with the discount provided na nakikita mo naman na kinainan naman niya yung dish na to. Hindi naman niya. Ang hindi pwede yung kunyari group order, yung PWD nag-order tapos full 20% discount tapos tinake out ka agad. Kailangan kainin mo doon.
Yun nga yung problema. Yun yung sinasabi ng mga resto owner. Sabi na wala naman kaming problema kung magbigay kami ng 20%. Nasa batas yan para sa PWD or senior citizen, isama mo na. Ang problema daw kasi nila pag take out. Magpe-present ng PWD, di mo naman daw alam kasi lahat ba yun kakainin ng
You can take
PWD.
out tira. In other words, yung...
Hindi, pagka take out,
hindi, na-clarify nila. I-divide mo yan kung ano yung, kunyari, yung order mo is
tapos,
good for 10, di ba?
Ang problema pa dyan, maraming fake PWD IDs. Or yung IDs na nakuha nila, tama naman, no, yung genuine ID siya, pero nakuha siya in a false pretense. Like for example, nagpanggap kang PWD or may kakilala ka lang taga doon, binigyan ka ng PWD.
Well, makonsensya na lang sana kayo.
Yun pero yung problema. Pero parang senior citizen discount din to di ba? I-divide mo siya, 5 kayong kumain doon, divided by 5, tapos kung magkano, kunyari, let's say for example, 100 yung bill mo, ikaw yung may PWD, ikaw yung may less 20% sa 100.
Well, kaya kasi na-bring up doon yan, like for example, may mga certain PWDs and seniors na kumakain, let's say yung pizza, nag-iisa ka lang, di ba? Pero most pizza chains kasi, ang smallest pizza size nila is a 9 or 10-inch pizza, which is good technically for 2 to 6 people. So, paano daw ang question nito? Paano yung discount? If nag-iisa ka at nag-order ka...
Which is nilinaw ng DOJ.
10-inch pizza, nag-iisa kang kumakain dyan, ibibigay yung 20% doon. Pero kung dalawa-tatlo kayo, yung sinasabi ni ma'am sa NCDA, oo, you divide it commensurately.
Okay, malinaw tayo dyan. So, let's move forward.
Now on our top 6 is about the controversial PhilHealth fund transfer. A third petition challenging the move was filed before the Supreme Court on Wednesday. The latest petitioners includes members of the Isambayan Coalition. They filed for certiorari and prohibition, along with a temporary restraining order to halt the transfer of some 89.9 billion pesos. The latest filing coincides with the expected transfer of the third tranche of funds to the national coffers. The Finance Department ordered the transfer of unused PhilHealth funds in February to be used for other projects.
This is the second group, no? Unang group na nag-file ng petition to, ang tawag doon, para pawalang sa TRO, yung pagta-transfer ng PhilHealth, ng funds ng PhilHealth back to National Treasury, ay yung grupo nila Senator Kiko Pimentel. No?
Yeah.
Yun.
Pero parang,
so second itong yung kila Justice Carpio.
Ang problema dito kasi the budget will be enacted already very soon.
Yes.
And ang mangyayari sa January pa lang ang hearing nito sa Senate, yung oral, 'di ba? Yung oral hearing yung oral discussions and hearings sa Supreme
January
Court
14.
So parang ang sinasabi ng marami, moot and academic na 'to kasi yung budget papasok na sa January.
Pero ang sinasabi ni former Justice Jan, kapag let's say for example, napatunayan na mali talaga kasi ba yung legal challenge dyan sinasabi ng finance, legal tong ginagawa namin. Sinasabi ng mga grupo na against it, illegal yan. So ang legal challenge dyan, kapag ka na, kunyari, pumanig dito sa mga kumukontra, no, nag-file ng TRO ang Supreme Court, ang sinasabi ni Justice Carpio, ang magbabayad niyan ay yung nag-facilitate ng transfer, which is si Finance Secretary Ralph Recto. Can you imagine that's 89.9 billion? Wala naman
babayaran mo from your personal money?
Yes, because may sinasabi siyang batas regarding that. But ito yung 30 billion transfer na nangyari October, no? Second to the last installment. Tapos yung nag-remit ng PhilHealth ng 20 billion last May and 10 million back to the Treasury nung August. Tapos itong September is set to, yung final tranche is set to transfer ng November yung 29.9 amounting to overall 89.9 billion. Which is yun nga yung, di ba, kinukontra ng mga tao because hindi daw tama yung ginawa na pag-transfer na yun. Di ba?
Anyway, I'd like to read up more on that. Kasi parang hindi ko maano rin yung bakit ibabalik from your personal fund. Baka from the department funds mo or magre-realign ka ulit. Pero why would you pay for it from your personal fund? Kasi ginamit rin naman ng gobyerno yung pera na transfer mo I mean, ginastos din ng gobyerno. So, technically, hindi mo naman ninakaw yung pera. It's just that yung procedure of how you transfer the finances or the funds, mali, di ba? But sige, we'll look into that more. Okay na, we'll go ahead muna.
Sige, hanapin ko.
Sige, let's move on to the next.
Going to top 5 are the suspended officials of Porac, Pampanga. They are facing additional complaints due to illegal operation of Pogo Lucky South 99 in their town. The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission or PAOC and the Philippine National Police or PNP have filed graft charges against Porac Mayor Jaime Capil, Vice Mayor Francis Lawrence Tamayo, and others. Interagency Council Against Trafficking Prosecutor Sonny Ocampo insisted that Porac has committed negligence in letting illegal Pogo operate in their area. Capil, Tamayo, and others are currently suspended from their posts.
Kasi naman, it's in your backyard, tapos hinayaan mo mamayagpag ang isang malaking illegal activity. Di ba parang sinasabi nila sa mga hearing, imposible naman.
Yeah.
May mga funds ka sa LGU, may mga police operatives ka around the area, walang movement kang nakikita na may mga pag-structures na paano mo kinonstruct yung mga certain structures na medyo magtaka ka na, di ba? May mga underground pa yan at lahat. So, it's just, tsaka command responsibility din yan eh.
Exactly.
The buck stops at your office.
Diba, pinag-usapan nga natin yan. Sibi mo sa laki nung pogo doon sa area mo, hindi mo alam na nangyayari yun. Kahit kailan, hindi mo sinilip kung anong ginagawa ng mga
kahit
tao
naman
doon.
sabihin mo, wala kang hinalang may maling ginagawa, pero may malaking nangyayari doon, usually, you'll take a look at it. Teka lang, ano ba ito? Legal ba ito? Yun lang naman, di ba?
Ilang taon din yun, di ba?
Due diligence. We're not saying na ikaw kasama initially sa illegal operation. Sinasabi natin, due diligence man lang na tinignan mo.
Ikaw yung local government official dyan.
Ikaw yung head ng
ikaw
area.
Yung mayor dyan. Ikaw yung tatay ng lugar na yun. At saka, if I'm not mistaken, alam ko, nagsimula yung operation yan or nag-start yung construction during the pandemic eh.
No, sa construction pala, hindi ka na nagtanong-tanong, malaki-laki to.
Pandemic ngayon bakit may ganito?
Bakit may lake kayo dyan? Bakit may bahay doon na walang daanan sa gitna ng, di ba, man-made lake? Mga ganun questions ba? Ay, nako.
Ito, balikan ko lang. Balikan ko lang yung sinasabi ni former Chief Justice. Ay, nawala yung yung article.
Sige, mamaya, we'll take that up, but let's move on to the next. Coming in at top 4, the COMELEC has released a partial list of aspirants allowed to join the May 2025 senatorial race. The poll body named 66 aspirants qualified to join the senatorial race, declaring some 177 senatorial aspirants as nuisance. Those allowed to run include detained Pastor Apollo Kibuloy, whose certification of acceptance and nomination was disowned by Workers and Peasants Party. The COMELEC, though, emphasized that the list is not yet final. Nuisance candidates may still appeal the ruling, and the possible candidacy of those initially approved may still be challenged. Yung list na to is based sa mga qualifications sila, di ba? Yung ability to run a campaign, intent to serve the public. Pero ang kinaklarify ni Chairman George na if meron mag-challenge from the outside, from the public, may alam silang information about a certain aspirant or candidate, and it's filed.
They may feel free to do so.
Free to do so. And if it's proven na meron silang issues, then pwede pang mabawasan yan. Exactly. Pero may mga, maganda lang tignan para sa akin may mga vlogger na nakapasok. Sa akin, maganda tignan that the list is getting diverse na even if wala kang capacity to mount a
especially
100 million peso campaign.
Candidates
maganda tignan because ngayon, we're opening up the doors na anyone can serve basta you have a good intention to serve.
Exactly.
Hindi porket hindi noong unang panahon kumayaman ka lang saka lang pwede magserbisyo.
Well, 'di ba, technically on reality kung pagsikat ka, mayaman ka, ikaw yung mga nananalo ngayon 'di ba? Pero ngayon nakikita natin na challenge din sa Supreme Court yung pagdedeklara ng nuisance candidate, 'di ba? Hindi not necessarily wala kang party, hindi porket wala kang pera, hindi ka pa pwedeng tumakbo.
'Di ba may fisherman na
may fisherman, saka yung yung Ramon Magsaysay awardee.
Pero may siya.
He's running for
Senator. Pero meron siyang he belongs to an organization na malawak din kasi. 'Di ba? So mayroon siyang basis for running also to mount a campaign.
Ayan sinasabi ni balikan ko lang.
Hindi talaga tumigil
Ni
I'm not challenging you, I'm just doubting.
Personally liable siya, 'di ba? Yung opisyal na naglipat ng pera dapat isauli niya. 'Yun ang sinasabi niya. So sabi niya, wala siyang ganyang kalaking assets.
Personally liable, subject
Kasi if the law, sabi niya, ano ba yung sinabi niya, kahit na under the law yan, kung sino yung opisyal na naglipat ng pera, isasauli, di ba?
Oo. Pero it doesn't mean na manggagaling sa sarili mo pera. In personal liability meaning,
kaya nga sabi niya,
sa decision niya,
wala
siya
naman
mali.
siyang ganyang kalaking assets.
Oo. Pero subject for interpretation. Hindi man directly, hoy, na-transfer mo yun, soli mo yan.
Pero kaya nga sinabi ni Justice Scarpio, personally, wala siyang ganyang kalaking
pero hindi naman sinabi, personally, isoli niya yung pera mula sa bangko niya.
Personally liable siya. Kasi kapag nag-lapse na yung law, personally liable siya.
Ano ba definition ng liability?
Diba? Kaya nga, pero kaya nga niya pinoint out na wala siyang ganyang kalaking assets.
But it does not.
Don't go away because we're not done yet. May special guest po tayo. Brunch break muna tayo. Mas nagiging exciting po ang mga nagaganap sa series na Ang Himala ni Nino.
Inaabangan din lagi ang funny na kontrabida ng series na si Madam Chona. Kaya naman kausapin natin si Madam Chona herself, Miss Carmi Martin. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning at hindi Madam Chona. Madam Shona.
Madam
Shona pala, mali ka.
Sorry,
Madam Shona.
Naku, nagalit na si Madam.
Nakakatakot. Natakot na
Nako, pagka tinatawag nila, Aling Chona, hindi! Madam Shona.
Madam
Kain
Shona.
muna kayo pa, hindi
Kailangan
po kami
ata ng sugar ni
pagalitan.
Madam
Oo nga,
Shona.
hindi eh.
Baka
Kumain na nga
mapagalitan
po ako ng konti
Oo.
para magkaroon ako ng energy. Actually, dun sa listahan, nilagay nila may brunch. Akala ko naman kakain kami. Ito na pala.
It wala yun. But it's good to have you po on our
Ay,
show.
thank you. Thank you so much.
And of course, syempre gusto po natin malaman kung paano niyo po pinaghandaan itong role niyo. Kasi nabanggit po namin off-air, itong si Badong, yung inyong sidekick, sinasabi niya how professional you are in this program.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Kasi, I think, I know that Ryan Carlos, Direk Ryan Carlos, is doing acting workshop for
Yes.
TV5 right now, no? So, at my age, talagang nag-acting workshop ako. And isa sa mga na-discover ko is to really know your role, physical, emotional, psychological. Paano mag-isip? Yung talagang paghahandaan mo yung role.
Yeah.
Kung paano siyang manamit, ano, geologs ba ito? Ano ba yung nakaraan niya? Yung mga ganong
ganun,
things.
oo.
So talagang inaral ko and binabasa kong maigi yung script para malaman ko yung interaction ko with the whole community.
Yes.
Yun. So ganun ko siya
I was
pinaghandaan.
wondering po, Madam Shona, Miss Carmi, kayo po ba yung tipong parang yung pag in character in the zone na, yung parang alam may receipt na kahit naka-off-take kayo, yun pa rin yung character?
Hindi naman. Umaalis naman.
Umaalis
ako.
naman.
Ibang ano yun, parang being yata yun. Yung
Yeah.
akin naman yung Shubak acting workshop. Mas relaxing kasi
Okay.
but you have to make hugot from your inner pain.
Oh, wow,
Yun.
inner pain.
Oo.
Yeah, but I've seen for you, of course, we all know that you have had done several characters in the
Yes.
past, di ba? What makes this character different given na yung time slot niya is a little early, so it has to be light, pero kontrabida ka pa rin?
Yeah, actually the director told me nga kasi kapag papanoorin mo yung buong show, it's very parang siya very light, no, yung community.
Yes.
Pero pagdating nung ko na kontrabida and parating sinasabi ni Direk na i-comedy mo. I-ano mo talaga. Parati akong may baon because I study my lines well and may baon akong pandagdag for the character. So, parang nagiging light. Sinasabi niya kasi nga it's 11 o'clock a.m.
Yes.
Maaga siya. So, para magising yung mga viewers na yung character ko would add life to the community.
That's right, that's right. I'd also like to ask, I've met the kids already. Ang gagaling nila. I mean, I'm surprised kasi si Zion,
Zion,
on cue siya umiiyak.
Yeah.
Pero how is it working with young children at this point?
Meron may acting coach beside him. Nakita ko, nakilala ko. And I've, spoke with him, tapos sinasabi ko nga kung ano yung technique na ginagamit, ibang technique yon na hindi nila pwedeng gamitin yung technique ng pang-adult. It should be pang-bata.
Okay.
Right.
Yun, yung mga hugot na
Oo,
pang-bata.
makes sense.
Yes,
And maganda yung nangyayari kasi nakikita ko nga na si Zion is very effective
Yes.
for portraying as Nino. Yeah.
This is the third week na po, no?
Yes.
Since it premiered itong Himala ni Nino. Pero how is it working po with other cast? Paano po kayo makapagtrabaho with the other cast? Is it like a family?
Okay, except that, syempre, kasi ang init, sometimes may point na talaga wala sa amin nagsasalita. But right now, medyo okay na kami, we get together, even off cam. Nakakatawa naman kasi nagugulat nga sila because pagpapasok yung si Madam Joanna doon sa bahay nila, nagugulat sila kasi ang hilig kong mag-adlib, hindi ko sasabihin kung ano yung gagawin ko. So, sometimes mabibilaukan yung isang, I forgot her name, but mabibilaukan kasi nagulat na He was not expecting na I would do that in a scene, mga ganun.
Tapos lalabas yung natural
Naku, madami
reaction
palang
niya to that
ano,
scene.
Natural reaction.
Dahil palang bloopers na pwede abangan dito.
Pero speaking of yung mga ad-lib, kasi nabanggit nga din dito ni Badong na yung ginawa mo tungkol dun
that
sa
scene.
click, yung sa scene na that you're very professional about it. Can you tell us more about it? And may mga ganun pa ba kami mga abangan?
Marami pa. Kasi every time nakasama ko si Badong at si Budang, si Ken, at saka si Don,
Yeah.
parati kaming para kaming nagmamatch yung energy namin. Kasi sinabi nga sa kanila ng director na pantayan nyo ang energy ni Madam Shona. Kasi nga ang taas-taas ng energy ko. And si Badong is a very good actor na tanga-tanga yung role. Ganyan. So talagang minsan sasabihin, di nakasama sa script yan, gano'n. So, nagagawaan na namin, may rapport na kami to each other. And even to the other cast.
Galing.
So, of course, we'd like to invite the viewers and what else can they expect from the show.
Oo. Naku, panoorin niyo po ito. Very entertaining at saka marami. Spiritually talagang maraming namang mai-inspire na mga kabataan how to para galangin ang mga magulang, ganyan. At the same time, pag pumapasok po yung aking role, talaga namang nagbibigay ng buhay doon sa Bukang Liwayway. It's Ang Himala ni Nino, from Monday to Fridays po yan. Panoorin ninyo bago mag-Itbulaga. Yes.
Yun. Alright. Maraming salamat po
Thank
for
you so
joining
much,
us today. It's such an honor to...
Yes.
At maraming salamat sa pa-brunch.
Opo. Totoong
Branch na, naging branch
Yes.
talaga.
Alright. Maraming salamat po kay Madam Shona.
Yes, Madam
Diba? At
Shona.
syempre, kilala po natin siya bilang si Miss Carmi Martin.
Thank
you so much
you.
po. Okay, sige. Diyan lamang po kayo. Huwag po kayong aalis dahil our news countdown will continue when brunch returns. Keep it here on One News.
Oh.
Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Hindi pa ako tapos sa iyo.
Bakit? Gigigil siya.
nagsasalita.
Si Araceli Herrera, si Ate Araceli, ayan, nanonood yan sa atin from Jessie Mendez Cash and Carry branch. Si natatawa daw siya sa atin, si SSV Vu. Di ko alam yung pangalan. Nakakatawa po kayo. Always makes my morning. Love your dynamics and always look forward to your show. Looking forward to
yan. We just had a guest. Mamaya may guest pa tayo. But si Ma'am Carmi Martin just joined us.
Meron pa tayo dito, papabati si Pai Tier, si Darwin Tungol, si Amir Bandali, yan, si Araceli Herrera, si MB, si Mix Ebron, and of course si Barbie, si Bart Bartolome.
Si Barbie girl. Okay, let's move on.
Still heated in the third spot are the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD. The DSWD clarified that all referrals have to be subjected for validations first before accommodating them. In an interview with 1PH1 Balita Pilipinas, DSWD spokesperson Irene Dumlao said they accept all referrals. However, their social workers have to check these requests before they can work on it. Recall that the OVP accused DSWD of intentionally rejecting or delaying their referrals. Vice President Sara Duterte cried foul over this and insisted that they were being politicized. Hindi pa tayo tapos sa issue na yan.
Ito yung sinasabi ko natin yesterday, di ba? Na DSWD kasi has to vet the list because may mga guidelines.
Kahit kaninong galing opisina pa yan.
Tsaka may mga several ayuda programs kasi na nag-overlap. Di ba? Clarify ng DSWD noon na if you're part of one ayuda program at na-claim mo na yan, hindi mo pa claim ulit, di ba, that same day or that same week. Meron pagitan na tinitignan nila. So, hindi porket may endorsement letter ka, automatic.
Tsaka may may parang succession no? Na
Yes.
kung baka meron pang mas nauna dito
Correct.
sa Office of the Vice President.
Tsaka ang nagagawa lang kasi ng endorsement letter, it's not really an instant approval, but merely it gives you a better schedule na imbis na pipila ka siguro ng mahaba at makikipila ka sa isang grupo, may certain days, pag OVP, ito yung araw na pinoprocess.
Pwede, siguro gawin
Ganun
nila
lang.
yun.
Pero, alam ko yan, alam natin yan kasi we've experienced it nung ikaw nag-cover ka noon sa DSWD. Subject for approval lagi ang releasing ng mga ayuda.
Oo, pero on the other side of the fence, para fair lang tayo, syempre sinasabi din ng office ng OVP, meron silang mga in-enumerate, no, na several requests, several endorsements na hindi daw talaga pinansin ng DSWD, which in fact sinasabi nga ng DSWD hindi naman kasi nga may ganitong proseso, etc. And meron daw silang mga messages, no, to show na may mga transaction talagang nagagawa and inaasikaso naman nila. Hindi contrary dun sa claim ng OVP na hindi talaga sila inaasikaso. At kasi ang sinasabi ng Office of the Vice President talagang sinisingle out sila na pag galing sa kanya hindi pinapansin. That's why she's asking for a budget, 'di ba? Specific budget for this.
Hindi naman pwede kasi yung overlapping budget because hindi naman yan ang main function ng OVP.
Exactly. At saka napakarami ng mga ayuda.
Oo.
'Di ba? Iba-ibang mga pangalan.
Right. Ayuda is the new pork barrel.
Ay nako, sige. Pag-usapan pa natin yan. But for the meantime, let's continue with our countdown.
Switching gears and on to our top 3, the National Security Council challenges the recent report of human rights group Amnesty International. The study found that young Filipino activists are being silenced by persistent online attacks, some of which include posts by NTF-ELCAC that red tag progressive groups. But NSC Director General Jonathan Malaya tagged the report as, quote, one-sided, misleading, and baseless. Malaya said the group should have asked the government side first before publishing the report.
Yun yung sinasabi niya na one-sided daw, hindi daw nagkaroon ng consultation sa kanila. At yung ilan sa mga report na ginamit nila ay based dun sa mga na-red tag ng NTF-ELCAC. Kasi naman, noong 2018, itong NTF-ELCAC, di ba, trigger happy sa red tag?
Actually, I was gonna say that kasi itong Amnesty International, they might be taking a look at the report sa previous administration. That ika nga sinasabi mo nga, yung sinabi ng ibang, sila ang gumamit ng word, trigger happy in tagging people. Di ba, si Angel Locsin was tagged. Si Gretchen Ho.
Si Gretchen Ho, natag. Si Heidelin Diaz.
Heidelin Diaz was tagged. So yun ang sinasabi natin. Ngayon,
ay, hindi pala. Si Gretchen pala sa siya sa... Oo nga yata. Hindi, sa siya sa Matrix, diba? Oo, yan, natag siya, tama.
Yun ang sinasabi natin. And ngayon kasi, di ba, iba ng administration, so iba ang direction nila, how the drug war is being conducted, how to tag terrorists, iba na yung pananaw natin. So, we have to review also, but we have to take a look muna how...
Kaya nga sinabi ni Director General Malaya,
sana kinonsulta muna sila.
Sana kinonsulta sila kasi sabi nila, ngayon daw, specifically ngayong panahon na to, election season, di ba, sino ba yung mga respondents dun sa survey na paano ba yung questioning?
Yes.
'Di ba? How these questions were formed. 'Yun yung kanyang sinasabi. Kaya sabi nila, pag-aralan pa nila itong Amnesty International na ginawa na study.
All right, let's move on.
Still in our top spot is the drug war. A human rights lawyer questioned Senator Bato de la Rosa's intention to start a Senate hearing into the controversial drug war that he previously led. House Quadcom co-chair Representative Benny Abante also has his reservations about the Oplan Tokhang chief architect probing his own program. Here's a report.
This may be stranger than fiction, but it's true. Senator Bato de la Rosa wants to start a Senate inquiry on the controversial drug war. He was the so-called chief architect of the Oplan Tokhang that saw the deaths of thousands of alleged drug personalities during the Duterte administration. This as the House Quadcom's inquiry into the bloody drug war is getting more intense after retired police officer Reina Garma revealed the so-called Davao model. De la Rosa wants the Senate investigation to start next month. And what was his reason behind this?
Hindi naman pwede kukontrahin, no? Hindi naman kaya nagkukontrahin. Kasi pagkakaroon lang tayo ng checks and balances dahil may nakikita man din siguro si Senator Bungo na portion ng investigation doon na talagang false accusations during the hearing. Hindi yung kung ano man yung mga issues na pwede sila magpalabas ang kanilang mga saloobin to give fairness.
De la Rosa also expressed confidence that he can invite his former boss, ex-President Rodrigo Duterte, to speak in the hearing.
Malaking posibilidad na mag-attend siya kung kami mag-imbita kasi mas komportable siya dito sa Senado kaysa sa lower house.
International Criminal Court Assistant to Counsel Attorney Cristina Conti expressed reservations about this.
Lokohan ba ito? Kung gusto niyong lokohan na lang, marami kaming paraan para makipaglokohan.
Meanwhile, House Quad Committee Co-Chair Benny Abante has doubts that the senators will be impartial.
Well, the thing is, he became the Director General of the Philippine National Police during the time of the former president. But just imagine, he was only a Brigadier General all of a sudden. Nagdagdagan siya ng star, no? Naging Major General siya and naging Director General. So I would think that he would be more biased than actually balanced in that hearing.
For News 5, Ria Fernandez, We Are One News.
Pero sinasabi
Imbestigahan ko yung sarili ko.
parang sinasabi ni Bato, to give fairness to para yung other side. So, parang sinasabi niya, gagawa ako ng committee hearing, gagastos tayo ng pondo ng bayan para may air namin side namin. Mali ata yun.
Pero hindi,
Kung gusto niyo mag-air ng side, sige na. I know it's not tradition, but go to the lower house, air your side there. Gagawa ka committee hearing.
Kasi sabi niya, never ako pupunta dyan. Diba kasi may parliamentary courtesy.
Diba si Senator Bongo, Senator De La Rosa are both part of this case na supposedly being accused. And sila rin ang mga magiging chairman ng committee. So ano, magtatanungan dalawa? Nag-EJK ka rin? Hindi Wag naman. Or may nag-suggest na para matapos na daw itong issue, have an independent body do this. Commission on Human Rights can do this kasi existing body na sila.
Tsaka, gusto nila i-course, pwede rin i-course through na yun sa DOJ kung may case build-up.
Hindi.
Pero gusto kasi nila yung magkaroon ng hearing talaga.
Hindi, pero yung sinabi niya,
public.
Ayaw pumunta ng lower house, dito na lang sa amin para fair. Parang inamin na rin niya na other side of the story naman ng walang fair din, hindi rin sila fair.
Pero di ba yung mga recent interviews si Senator Bato de la Rosa, lagi yung sinasabi, walang mangyayaring ang tawag dito, Senate inquiry regarding drug war. Pero ngayon, what made him change his mind? Diba?
Kasi nagra-ramp up ng accusation na sa lower house so
kailangan na pagtanggol ng mga sarili.
Yeah.
Pero sabi niya, invite daw nila si
PRRD.
Si former President
Alam ko kung ako,
ngayon, saan pupunta? Pupunta ba dyan si PRRD o dun sa...
Si PRRD is already medyo matanda na di ba? Baka...
Sige, yun po ating number 1 for today. At syempre, marami tayong pag-uusapan patungkol dyan. Baka tomorrow...
Yeah, we're done with the countdown,
i-ano natin yan, pagpatuloy natin. But we're done with the countdown. Pero hindi pa rin po tayo tapos dahil Brunch will be right back. Keep it here on Wood News.
For our brunch break, let's make our Burr months extra magical and more exciting.
Disney on Ice skaters Ida and Quentin are now joining us live here in the studio.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I must say this is really nostalgic for me. Ever since I was a kid, I've been watching Disney on Ice, and to see you guys here, it really brings back a lot of memories. So thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yeah. So before anything else, can you tell us more about your roles here in Disney on Ice?
Yes.
We portray the roles of Rapunzel and Flynn.
Yes.
On the ice.
Yeah, and the show is called Disney on Ice presents Find Your Hero.
Find Your Hero, okay.
And when did you start When did you start skating?
I started skating at the age of 6,
Wow.
and it was actually after I saw my very first Disney on Ice show.
Wow, just like
Yeah.
as a kid, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You went with the show.
Yeah, I went all the time as a kid, and my parents took me, and I said to my mom, that's what I want to do one day.
How beautiful is
She
that?
put me into skating, and now I'm
you
here.
go, the rest is history.
It's a dream come true, yeah.
Exactly. And I was wondering, can you tell us how did you guys prepare for this role, Quentin?
Well, we have a lot of training. First, we have multiple weeks of rehearsals. So we get to practice our tricks, practice new tricks, things that we can present to the audience.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of warm up and.
Yeah, it's very important to maintain your health and stay healthy, eat good, and train a lot so that we are safe on the ice.
But I was wondering, is it difficult? I mean, we have a lot of skaters in the Olympics, but with you guys, you have costumes that are heavy. You have to think about your makeup, your blocking, the lights. How difficult is this for you guys that you really have to be focused?
It's very different from competitive skating, but it's so much better. Yeah, the audience really, we feed off their energy. So as soon as you come out and see the audience, just all your problems disappear and you're just ready to have a good time.
In the zone already.
Yeah,
Once
that's
you're
great.
Yes, go ahead. So tell us more about the show. What is generally the show about? You said the title was
Find Your Hero.
Okay, so what is it more about?
So it's all about finding the hero within yourself. We actually have 6 magical Disney stories.
Okay.
So we have some Disney classics like Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. And then we have some newer stories, so as Tangled, Moana, Frozen, and for the first time ever in the Philippines, we bring Encanto here. Yeah.
I heard it's very popular here in the Philippines.
It is.
Yes. And you'll actually see some acrobatics, some aerial acrobatics. So our Little Mermaid, she actually does a Spanish web routine 30 feet above the ice, which is really cool. And we have a brand new aerial apparatus called Anti-Gravity that you will look out for in the Encanto segment.
So compared to other years, every year you ramp up the ante.
Yes, we try to put more tricks out there for the audience to impress the audience and inspire them.
Yeah. So
Ida said this is her first performance, right? And how about you, Quentin? Is this also your first time on Disney
No,
on
it's
Ice?
actually, I've been on tour for Disney on Ice for 10 years now.
Yeah, no, I've actually been on tour for 7 years.
Seven,
so
okay,
yeah, we've been here
All right.
a long time.
Yeah, and we've been skating together for 7 years or so.
Wow.
But we really enjoy what we do, and we're very happy to skate together.
All right,
so go ahead and why don't you invite all our viewers and to tag along and to watch your show?
Yes, of course. So we welcome you all to come watch our show, Disney on Ice presents Find Your Hero, at the SM Mall of Asia Arena.
From December 21st to January 5th, and ticket can be purchased online at smtickets.com.
So we hope to see you all there.
Yes, we will be there. We want to join.
We will be there. Because I'm still a kid at heart.
We're gonna be there.
Bring our kids. All right, thank you so much, Ida and Quentin, for joining us today. And
Thank
good
you
luck
for
on your
Such a
show.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for having
much.
us.
All right, I guess that.
And that wraps up today's episode of
Don't you
Brunch.
have a quote? None? You're
Episode
not ready?
of Brunch. Join us again tomorrow. She's Angela Castro.
And he is Angelo Castro III. We are One News, all sides, all the time.